So the dictionary defines success as the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. In our daily life here at BBNN, that can look like getting perfect grades, becoming the president of a club, getting elected to student council, winning a sports game, and ultimately going to college and becoming successful.
Now, more often than not, we let external factors and our harsh inner critics shape our ideas of success. Today, we are going to convince you that your success is what you interpret it to be, and it doesn't have to be some benchmark set in stone years ago. But before we can do that, before we can redefine success, we need to understand what it is first. Your success consists of your goals, your supposed failures, and your perspective on the positive. Now, we are going to take you on the journey through the framework of a student at the upper school, an experience many of us here can relate to.
So the fall I applied to BBNN, I wasn't sure whether it was even worth it. All the work of studying for SSATs, writing those seemingly endless essays, interviewing, seemed like a mountain I wasn't sure I wanted to cross. I had friends. I was very involved in my school community. Why did I even need to move schools? Well, at the time, because my parents wanted me to. So I didn't really know what the goal was, besides getting into a good high school. I knew it had something to do with learning more, but it felt pretty broad, a bit of an aimless objective. But being the great son I am, I listened to my parents and I started studying. I got a tutor, and I like to say that I worked hard. As I did all these things, all these additional classes after school, all the extra effort, I also felt a bit more ownership over the process. In my mind, the goal became a bit clearer. It was like a camera slowly coming into focus. Now, my objective wasn't just to please my parents, but it was also to make all of the work I'd put in to be worth it. So I do all these interviews, I submit my materials, and I start to picture my future at these high schools. 3 months later, decision day rolls around, and I'll be honest, it didn't go great. I got in here, obviously, but I didn't get into some of the other places I applied to, places I was maybe more excited about or more focused on. At that moment, the goal suddenly shifted again. Now, it was about doing the best I possibly could at this different place, the place I didn't plan for, here at BBNN. Now, talking to you now, I can tell you confidently that coming here is something I definitely don't regret. I've learned so much, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's been a better experience than even if I'd gotten into these other places I had thought at the time I would like more. But if success is defined as the achievement of a goal, then it's better to know what the goal is ahead of time. So for me, that probably would have been knowing exactly what I was looking for when I applied, for a community more similar to me or a better education. But what they don't tell you is that the goal can change. 1 minute it was pleasing my parents. The next, it was getting into a good school. And the day after that, it was just being the best student I could. It's important to know what you're aiming for, but you have to be okay with it shifting, since achieving whatever your goal is achieving whatever your success is.
Now, I have a similar story. At the start of freshman year, I had a very different idea of success. I had strict goals on a highly unrealistic path. I had basically wanted to plan out my high school experience from start to finish. However, as time went on, I went from being really excited about everything to just trying to get by. Suddenly, things I was so excited about were real, and now it was taking all of my energy. But what I want you to see is that it's these times where your energy feels drained that you have the opportunity to be vulnerable. That vulnerability with people is when you can really grow. It's not easy to say you're not okay, because to say you're not okay is to say you don't have it all figured out. And if you don't have it all figured out, then what are you doing? But what I want you to see is that it's okay to not have it all figured out. It is okay to not always know exactly what you're doing. Because sometimes being truly vulnerable is being able to take yourself back to square one. Sometimes that's what you need to be able to open your eyes to all the really great things around you. Now, taking any kind of step back can feel like failure, but taking a step back is not a setback. Taking a step back is not failure. Failure is not this concept that is so strict, because part of redefining success is to redefine what we see as failure. Failing is not making mistakes, it's not doing things you regret, and it is most definitely not being perfect all the time. Failure would be giving up from trying to get it the next time, and the next time, and the next time.
So we've talked about goals, we've talked about failure, we've talked about something a bit better, positivity, maybe. So after you get back from bivouac, the first month can feel like you've just been dropped into cold water and you don't exactly know how to swim. They literally do that to you with the pond at Biv. But jokes aside, it can be a difficult time. You're at this new school, the work is far more difficult than anything you've experienced before, and everyone seems to have already bonded and found their perfect friend group. For those of us who couldn't find that lifetime connection during the 10 days in the woods, you feel a bit like you're an outsider. It's the small things that add up, that one grade that's below what you expected, the classic high school moment of not knowing who to sit with at lunch. But again, this is just our experience. Amidst this overwhelming tide of difficulty around us, there was an announcement for student council elections. Now, I had been a big part of student council in my middle school, but I was unsure whether I wanted to do the same thing here. It was a lot of work, for one, and also I was scared of losing. After all, giving a speech in front of 135 people you met 5 weeks ago, it's not trivial. But at some point, not really sure why, I decided I'd just take the jump, see what happens. I worked hard on my speech, but I wasn't sure how it would turn out. How could I be? Election day rolled around. There were a lot of candidates whom everyone seemed to know who they were cheering for, and then us, the outsiders. Yet, I gave my speech, Ria gave her speech, and somehow, by some twist of fate, we got elected. I know, I'm as surprised as you are. Now, that did not solve many of the problems we were struggling with. And let me tell you, student council is certainly not some flawless utopia that we were elected to. But in the moment, it felt great. School was still hard. Finding a group to fit into was still difficult. But your mind shapes how you perceive the world around you. If you focus on the negativity, everything seems bleak. But the same is true for being positive. In that moment, focusing on that election victory, albeit a small win, was the boost of positivity that made a huge difference. You can take a step back and look at what you've accomplished and what's ahead. You've got 3 more years to find exactly what you enjoy and what are some things you might want to do with your life. You've got 3 more years to correct that bad grade, and once you're in college, a lot more time to learn and do good as well. Bad things will happen, and there will be a struggle. But if you focus on the good, it makes it a little bit easier to push through that struggle and reach your success.
Now, doing anything in the world is about change and adaptation. A classic example is bicycles. Now, humans are highly intelligent beings, but they don't win every race. According to a study from the Scientific American in 1973, the most energy-efficient animal in the world is a condor. Now, humans are highly intelligent. Condors, not so much. Condors are highly energy efficient. Humans, not at all. Now, however, humans, in this lens, failed against condors. However, humans went on to invent tools like bikes, and bikes are some of the most energy efficient modes of transportation created. Now, a human's legs might have not compared to a condor's wings, but bikes made us a much more equal match. Now, the road to success is not always clear, but what this comes down to is thinking about it in an innovative way. Failure can come along the way and make it feel impossible, but once you realize that you don't have to win the race with your bare legs alone, there's a toolbox and a bike waiting to be built for you, it can make reaching that success feel a little bit easier. Thank you.